Hi, Father Ian Van Heusen here. So in the last video, I got into this whole idea that yes, Protestantism is a heresy. What I want to get into in this video is like, what do you do when your best friend is a heretic? Now, it's a little bit of a joke title, just kind of trying to be a little bit playful with things. But there is this sense that like we have friends who are of different religions, of different Christian denominations. And right now the going trend is to say, well, we're all the same. There's no difference between Protestants and Catholics, between Muslims and Catholics. And if you assert that what you believe is the one true faith or whatever, that what you believe is the truth and that the other ones are in error, that like somehow like you hate people or you're angry with people or whatever it might be. And what I would always say I would respond to that is first of all, by the principles of logic, if there's a disagreement between two people and one position is against another or is the opposite of another, by the principle of non-contradiction, one of them has to be right. So like either the Protestants are right, the Catholics are right, the Muslims are right, the Hindus. So what people rightly have a hard time with is like this idea of like, well, we don't want to like force people to convert. We don't want to get angry at different people. We don't want to judge people. But what I say, what we really need is we need like a really robust conversation where we're able to talk about our differences in faith. And yes, to say, I think what I believe is right and I believe you're wrong, but to do that respectfully, especially in the context of friendships. It's like to respect other people. Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about the coexist or the, whatever. But it's not a coexist that like all religions are the same or that it doesn't really matter what you believe. No, it does matter. But what I believe in is this context of religious liberty, particularly that we have in the United States. And that is that we're able to discuss these difficult topics and kind of flesh out these conversations. So, a lot of this was inspired because Tim, my video guy's non-denominational, he's Protestant. And we were talking about it and we're able to talk about our differences and opinions. Now, even though he works for me, we don't necessarily get deep into things. And I don't try to like convince him that he's right or he's wrong and I'm right. But there's just that sense of sharing what you believe. So I think the question then goes back to like, well, what do you do? How do you bring your friends to accept the true faith? And it's not like a coercion. It's not like you have to have a strategy or you have to try to get one over on them. It's just be authentically like who you are. Like stand up for what you believe. And so the same thing can be said, like if you're a Republican, you have a friend who's a Democrat, or you're a Democrat, you have a friend who's a Republican. You have people who have different political views than you. Just express and stand up for what you believe. Be willing to engage in that conversation. I think this is what is so often missing in our contemporary society, that we're just not willing to explore the fact that we disagree. And then, yeah, one of us is right and one of us is wrong. And that's okay. Amen.